Hi guys and girls on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be telling you the story about how we first got a colour TV. Now, I've been bringing TVs back from the tip since just after 1974, when my grandma bought me a second-hand chopper bike for Christmas. But you're limited to what you can bring back on a chopper bike. I could only bring 20-inch slimline black and white TVs. And if you're wondering how you transport a 20-inch television on a chopper bike, I'll just take you over to the computer and show you, because I've already got a video on my channel on how to do this. Right, so this is how you do it. Let's just put play on the video. And what I used to do is, on them cross rails, I used to sit the TV. So if you look at this here, I sit it on the cross rails, I balance it one arm on each side to stop it falling off. And of course you couldn't pedal, I had to push it the 2 miles home on my bike. But you can see how it's done. And the problem was, I could only bring back smallish or black and white TVs like this. Can you see I've got my arms on it there to hold it on? And then just push it along with your feet. No pedalling required. Now, my parents had quite a strict rule. It was one in, one out. You can't bring they didn't mind me having a TV in the house, but I couldn't bring another one in till I got rid of the first one, which wasn't always practical, because sometimes you'd need another one as a donor to provide the parts for the one you wanted to repair. Now, on occasions I've successfully managed to sneak the odd one in without being seen, because a few years earlier my dad had painted a room in the attic. He decorated it all, and he said I could have it for a workshop, and it was right in the top of the house, and my mum and dad, they never ever came up there. So I was pretty much left to my own devices, and as long as I could sneak stuff in, there wouldn't be a problem. Now, by the time I got to the age of 16, I was getting bored with black and white TVs. I wanted a new challenge. I wanted to repair colour TVs, but there was no way I could bring anything like that back from the tip on my bike, because they were far too big for a bike. So what I did is, there's a shop on the high street, and he'd been there for quite a number of years, and I used to call in after school and I used to buy components off him for repairing TVs. So I went up one day and I said, have you got any old colour TVs that don't work that you want to sell, and some spare panels and things to go with them? And the man behind the counter said yes. He said, we're just in the process of moving the workshop and we've got a load of stuff we want to get rid of. He said they won't all be colour TVs, these black and whites as well. He said, and these spare boards and things. And he said, what we've got to get rid of this stuff. He said, what we can do is we can fill all the van up, and you can have the whole lot for £50, and I'll get the lad to bring it all round to you after we've closed the shop. So the next day I went back with £50 and I paid the man, and we arranged the delivery date. But this had to be at a very specific time and date, and I'll explain why. There were 3 days a week when my dad went to the pub, so it had to be delivered after the time he'd gone to the pub. It was usually about 7:45 he'd go, so the delivery was arranged for about 8 o'clock. And also there was a programme on TV, I can't remember what it was. It could have been Tales of the Unexpected or something like that. But when that was on, my mum would be absolutely glued to the telly. She would not move until the programme had finished. And that gave me the opportunity to get these tellies in the house without being seen. So I'm just, what I've done is I've taken a picture and I've taken a little bit of video of my old house, and we'll just take a quick look at that, and I'll run you through it, and then I'll show you a photograph. So that's a picture I've taken of my old house. It was a big Victorian house. We didn't have any central heating. We just more or less lived in this room because that was the only room with a coal fire. Now here was a doorway, and it was up some steps, The door was locked, but we actually used to keep the key on top of the door frame, but we never ever used that door. We only ever used this back door here. So that's the kitchen, that's the back door, that is the living room where my mum would be sitting watching TV. These two windows here were my bedroom, and right on the top, that corner there, that was my workshop, and this room here, that was a separate room. That was just an empty room. We didn't have anything in there. And my mum and dad, they never came above the second level. They never went up to the third level. I was completely on my own up there. So we'd arranged this time. I think it was about 8 o'clock. So what I did is I unlocked the door here, and then I went through the living room and told my mum I was going out for a bit, and came out the back door like we always did. And I walked down here and I waited just here, and then bang on time, the lad that used to work for the shop, he reversed a Volkswagen van up here full of TVs. Now this was, it'd been 1981, it was a brand new van. They'd only had it 3 or 4 weeks, and it was a W reg. You couldn't miss it. It was bright orange. It stood out like a sore thumb. And he actually parked the he parked the van here, and he dropped all these TVs and spare panels onto the pavement here. And what the plan was, I was going to take them from here upstairs while my mum was in that room watching telly. Now the only problem was, from here to here was a long way. So and there wouldn't be time to get all the TVs right up to the top without getting caught, because when the programme ended, if my mum wanted the toilet, which we came through here, to go upstairs, and I would have been in big trouble. So what I did is I carried all these TVs and I put them in my bedroom temporarily. And once I got them all up to the top floor, that had given me long enough. It had given me between whatever time it was and about 11:30 when the pub closed, when my dad got home. It had given me enough time to get all the TVs from here right up to the next floor into this spare room without being seen. So once I got all the TVs into my bedroom, I walked back round here. I told my mum I was back, out into the landing. I locked the door very quietly, and then I got a few hours before my dad got home to get the TVs out my bedroom into the spare room next door to my workshop there. And that there is a picture of me of a 17-year-old boy surrounded by TVs. They're all spare panels, but actually most of the stuff I got, most of it was junk. There was a lot of Continental stuff. There was a Courting, there were Telefunken, Thorn 3500s, and a lot of this stuff, it had panels missing, parts missing. Most of it was absolute junk. But there was one set in particular, and I don't think it's on that picture, or if it is you can't see it, and it was in absolutely mint condition. It was an ITT CVC9 valve hybrid. Yeah, another picture there, but that's very poor. I think the red one was a Courting, and I think that one there might have been a Telefunken 711. Would it be 711, 712? No, it's going to have to focus. Yeah, camera's struggling to focus on that. It's a bit better if I put them side by side. But anyway, there was this one telly. It was ITT, mint condition, unmarked cabinet. And I actually managed to get it going. I think it was there was a colour fault on it. I think it was something to do with the 7.8 kHz bistable. It had a green picture. They had something wrong with the ident. I can't remember now what it was. But I actually fixed this telly. And I ran this telly a bit from my workshop, and it functioned absolutely fine. It took quite a long time to warm up with being a valve telly, and I always remember that the sound was muted until the line oscillator came into an operation. But anyway, it turned out it was a really good telly, and one day I carried it down and we put it in the living room. Because at that time we only rented a black and white telly. We've been renting black and white for years. and we swapped it over in the living room, and my mum was so happy with it. She was even more glued to the TV, and we tried it out for a bit, and then after a time we actually sent the rental TV back. Now I've had a look through my archives and I've managed to find our old rental card. Arnold and Plants, 31 Market Street, Whaley Bridge. Well, he had another shop in New Mills as well, and in later years when I opened my shop, I became very friendly with these, and I used to do colour portable repairs for Arnold and Plants, because they were more or less a Sony dealer. And when a lot of this Matsui and Amstrad and Japanese stuff started coming on the market, I got friendly with these people, and I was repairing these cheap Japanese portables for Arnold and Plant. But that's our old rental card, and if we look in here, it should be dated up. Get that on the camera. So that's the last time that we rented a black and white. That's the last payment we made, 25th of the 1st, 1982. And from that month on, we were watching a colour TV, an ITT CVC9. Now let's just have a look. £3.16 a month. What did it say on there? Oh, there's something on the back here. Yeah, it says £2.70 plus VAT. So I'm not sure what the VAT rate would be in 1981. Would it be 25% on luxury goods? I can't remember now. I've got a feeling it was. But anyway, that is the very last time that we rented a black and white TV. And the TV, the CVC9, it actually proved very reliable. I know it went wrong once. One Sunday my dad was doing overtime and we were in the living room, mum was watching telly, and all smoke started pouring out the back, and I wanted to turn it off, and my mum kept saying, no, just leave it till the end of this programme, I just want to see what happens at the end. But in the end we had to turn the telly off because there was that much smoke in the room. We couldn't even see the telly, we couldn't breathe. And it turned out the mains filter capacitor was faulty. It was a yellow one, and because it was a Continental set, it was only rated for 220 volt, and I swapped it for one of the later grey ones that was rated at 250 volt. And then it lasted quite a while, but then it developed another fault. It kept blowing a transistor. It was either AD161 or AD162. I think it was on the 20 volt rail, and it would give you a wavy picture. And after I put about, it was intermittent, you put transistor on, it would last for a few weeks and it'd go again. And I think on the third time I got fed up with it and I actually swapped it for a TX10. But yeah, apart from that, it was a very reliable TV. So that is the story of how we had our first colour TV. Now this picture, this is actually a little bit later. I think this is about 1984, and that shows my workshop workbench. That there been repaired is probably a line output panel for a T20, and if you look there, there's a GC hybrid telly with a panel missing. The panel's on top there. I'm not sure whether that's the frame or the, I think it's a frame panel. But yeah, that's a picture of my old workshop, probably 1984. Most of this stuff in this picture I still have today. That's an old engine analyzer that I bought from New Cross Radio in Manchester, and I converted it to a scope, but I don't have that anymore. I think that went wrong and I ended up throwing it away. But yeah, a lot of this stuff in the background I've still got. Yeah, it is that picture, 1984, because I've got some more pictures here, and it's not a T20, it's a T22. There you can see the panel. I've still got the digital multimeter, I've still got the soldering gun. that pair of pliers I've still got. That's another picture there. That's the GC hybrid. That there is actually a friend of mine examining some of the panels and things we got, but that's another picture of the TVs that I managed to sneak in the loft. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's quite a few. I'm not just sure how many, but as many as you can get in an orange Volkswagen transporter van. They're not actually very good pictures, these, but you can see there is quite a few there anyway. So I've also taken a little bit of quick video footage of my old house to give you some idea of the perspective. I'll just tag that onto the end of this video now. Alright guys and girls on YouTube, many thanks for watching my video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.